The Regent Park Community Center is located in the heart of Regent Park on 203 Sagville Green. It's a place where many youth of the community hang out, as well as community groups and activities take place there too. But this center represents much more to the community than just the recreation programs that take place there. What it represents is a testimony of the 28 years of hard work, endurance, patience, and struggle by the residents. Cut!
I'm the director. I yell cut. Where in your lines do you see the words cut?
But I don't like it.
People are trying to kill me.
It's boring. No one's going to be interested in it.
Of course not. It's a documentary.
Why did documentaries have to be so boring?
Because it's facts, and facts are boring. Didn't you learn anything in school? Now take it from the top, people.
Wait a minute, Dave. Why can't we make it interesting? Why don't we add a little drama, fun, something to it?
Because this is a serious issue. It's about the Regent Park residents' 27-year struggle to manage and own their own center. What's so funny about it?
Nothing, but why can't we do it in an interesting way?
Okay, we'll do it your way, but I wash my hands of any responsibility.
Okay, roll the camera.
Oh, I'm freaking busting my bone, yo.
I can't believe you guys got kicked out again.
Third time this week. I thought the center was for the community. Let the community in!
Stop. Want us to get banned for life?
They can do that?
There we go.
Parks and Rec can do what they want. They own this place.
That's not true. I read it in an old newspaper that the Regent Park residents actually own the community center.
Yeah, right!
It's true. Not only that, but we're supposed to actually have a say on how to run the place.
Yeah, right!
It's true. I'll prove it to you.
How are you gonna do that?
We'll go to the library.
Yeah, right!
We'll meet back at McDonald's in 1 hour.
Well, what we have here is a puzzle. We have to piece everything together to understand it.
You mean you want us to read them?
Exactly.
Hello, Ayan. This is a Saturday. Saturday. As in the weekend. I just spent my time going to the library on a Saturday. Now you want me to read this? I don't think so.
Come on, guys. If we don't read them, how are we going to find out the information we need to find out? I mean, for instance, do you know that it was the residents' idea to build the community center? Okay, guys, listen, it's all in here. You can take a look at it. Here.
For me, one of the things that I know was important was the issue around youth and young people having a place to go. There was a big issue when I moved into this community in 1980 around what they called hanging out. That there were groups of young people who were hanging out in the lobbies, in front of buildings, and there was a perception. I call it the criminalization of youth behavior myself. It's young people when they're 4 and 5, we tell them hang in a group, it's safe. As they get older, they become a gang, Oh, it's a gang of youth all of a sudden when you see more than 3 kids together. So one of the things was to give the young people a place to come in and program and, have leisure and recreation, work on social issues, and as well as the community. We needed more community space, a place for us to come together to plan, to meet and plan and find solutions to some of the issues that we deal with in this community.
There are times when I go there just to play ball, but sometimes I just go there to chill.
That's called loitering, Runnell, and that's against the rules.
Yo, why do they call it loitering when it's us and socializing when it's adults? You see all those adults hanging around in the house after the meetings. Why don't they kick them out?
You guys, the point is the residents were the one who identified the need for a community center and who fought for it. Look at this article.
After 16 years of struggle, Regent Park Center to be built. Toronto Star, August 21st, 1985. 16 years is a hell of a long time to fight for a community center, said Carol Walsh.
When I came in 1980, it was in the making of 16 years. And in 1980, it took 1980 to 85, was under construction, 87 it was built. So why was my question when I came in, why did it take 16 years? I could not understand that. The only thing that I could understand was that the politicians, MTHA, OHC, Parks and Rec was just shafting the residents.
Whoa, let me get this right. A community center was promised for Regent Park since 1969, and it wasn't actually built until 1985? Yo.
Because it requires the cooperation of 3 levels of government.
Ottawa, Queen's Park, and the City of Toronto.
And each of them waiting for the other to make the first move.
Cut! Now it's time to change the style to a documentary with an in-depth interview with Angela McCormick. There.
Pam McCormick, who is the coordinator for Regent Park Community Center. And we're just going to go in and do an interview with her right now.
Okay, that was all sweet and nice, but can you say Angela instead of Pam?
Hi, I'm here today to do an interview with Pam McCormick, who is the coordinator. I'm here today to do an interview with Angela McCormick, who is the coordinator for Regent Park Community Center. What did I do wrong? Unfortunately, Angela McCormick didn't want to answer the questions because she felt they were too controversial.
Yeah, check this out.
People like me and many of the residents of Regent Park were very angry and sad that the city and the province wouldn't come up with the money to build a community center in the poorest, economically poorest community in the city, when they had been doing that in other areas of the city. So that was the sad part. On the other hand, the good part was that people took that upon themselves, and they decided on a way to proceed, and they didn't get stopped by people saying no. And they worked together, and they worked with all the levels of government to try and get commitments if they matched their funds.
June the 5th, 1982, 1983, we went to every unit and asked the residents if they could give $2 a month for a year, for 3 years, to build the community center, to have money in it for their control.
So the deal was that the federal government gave them $1.2 million to build a center?
The provincial and municipal government would provide $100,000 in yearly operating funds.
And the residents would contribute $40,000 to a trust fund, the interest of which would assist the residents to run the community center.
Then what the hell happened? What went wrong? As far as I can know, Parks and Rec have always run the community center.
Who knows? Maybe the residents didn't want to run the center. Why bother?
I think that that's an understatement. People felt very happy that they were actually going to run something themselves in the park, that they had taken responsibility for it. I think suddenly people felt that they themselves were no longer going to be looked upon as somebody who's on social assistance. You know, they're the bums of society, that, yeah, we can do something ourselves and we can achieve. People were quite happy.
I've always been aware of the vision of a community-owned facility with 100% resident management. That was in the plans before the first brick went up. And after years, it was first, they figured in 1 year that this could happen, and then it went on to 3 or 4 years, and 5, then 7 years, and it hadn't become a reality.
My understanding was that the center was going to be run by the residents with the assistance of the City of Toronto. Some of the residents were going to be trained. I presumed, of course, that they would be trained through the Regent Park Residents Association, that it wasn't a case of just walking into the park and picking up 8 or 9 residents, whatever number they decided, and say, we want you to run the center. It would be run through an organization, which of course is the Residents Association. But it seemed all of a sudden that this was not talked about anymore.
But a hitch developed when the Housing Corporation wouldn't agree to the Residents Association's demand that the tenants run the centers themselves.
I remember in the early 80s when the residents were first organizing to get their community center, and they worked hard to raise money, and there'd be a center that would be built by the city that ultimately the residents could run and really have a major say in. But as the years went by, it just seemed to be really hard for them to break through and be able to run the center because the bureaucracy was kind of standing in their way, feeling that somehow the bureaucracy knew better about what should be done.
Yo, that's not fair. I fought to get it built. I raised the money. I waited 16 years for this. Okay, maybe not me, my ancestors.
I would never say Parks and Recreation owned the community center. It's right now, the landlord is Ontario Housing Corporation. There's presently, they're working on a deal where Ontario Housing will be taking less of an active role as a landlord, and City of Toronto will be taking more of an active role as owner of the facility. The question is, where does the community come involved here? Where does the community become any kind of a landlord or owner of this facility? And that was the piece that was in the initial vision.
Most important of all, where does Runnell fit in?
The youth have never really had a voice, and when two youth led our management group for a while, and they were saying that we have no voice, the community, and we believed as parents that we didn't have a voice. There was nothing really there for young kids. And we were saying we wanted tiny top programs, we want programs for youth, we want youth to walk in, hang around, and have a place to come to. People are turned away at the door when it's wintertime because they would be technically loitering. And it's like, this is a community center, it's not a rec hall, it's a community center, and I think we lost a lot of that over time about what the purpose of the center was, that it was for the community. It's not run by Parks and Recs for them only, it's for whoever wants to use it. And when I see youth being turned away at the door, it's security guards coming in and kicking kids out, and I see signs that say no loitering, I mean, that's not a welcoming place to go to. No, they have not been welcome to come in and say, well, what colors do you like? Let's paint murals, what do you think Regent Park means to you? What does this center mean to you? Write it on the walls. Are they being asked to do that? No.
Listen, we can't let 27 years of struggle just end like that. We have a right to be there. Our money is in it.
That's right, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the facts now. Let's go back there and show them up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Fueled by this new information, Runnell, Brian, and Herb went back to the community center demanding to have a say.
Oh, I'm freaking busting my bone, yo.